Hi, everyone. We are Kim and Vincenzo Casanica, and are excited to be with you here today to talk about hope and about rest and about the importance of bringing rest into our week and to give our soul time to breathe and to find God. Um, my story with hope, a couple years ago, we miscarried a child and we named the baby Hope, and it's gonna make me cry talking about it. But I was very sad and I was very heartbroken about it, and I just couldn't understand. We had gone through a really difficult time, and I got pregnant. I was just, oh, this is like God's sign for us, and we told everybody, and the kids were excited, and it was just this incredible moment in our lives. And I was in Italy, and I was like, something's off. I think I'm pregnant, and I came home, and sure enough, I was, and at the end of it, I ended up miscarrying a couple months in, and I have never cried those kind of tears in a long time, and because it broke my hope. That baby, for whatever reason, gave me this renewed sense of hope, and we'd gone through a lot of suffering as a family, and I just saw this incredible gift that the Lord gave to us, and I just didn't understand. It was a year or two later, and I was talking to a priest and just sharing kind of my hopelessness and what I was feeling and just this sadness I carried that just didn't seem to go away. And he said, what if, your sadness isn't caused by the crisis that you've been through or your life, but what if that baby was brought to you to bring hope? And you need to ponder that. And so I started to pray on that, and everything changed. Everywhere I went, there was a hope scripture. Everywhere I went, there was a sign of hope. Everywhere, and all my Christmas gifts that year were about hope. And I just started to realize that this child was brought into our family to do exactly that. Where I felt it was kind of taken away, but I realized we're not made for this world. That baby is with us for all eternity, and we'll see her again. And she did an incredible gift to kind of reignite hope in our marriage with our children, and she's still working today to bring that hope. And I think the big lesson that I learned was that she rekindled in me the sense that I'm not made just for here, that the loss of that child was not the loss, that there's an all eternity awaiting us in our faith, that child prays for me, and we have two others we miscarried, and they're all up there in heaven, and they're praying. We're going to meet them one day, and it just really transformed my vision of what I was living for. And it reminded me that I'm made for another world, and that the longing and this desire to be with that child is not over. I'm going to be with Hope one day. And so we want to talk to you about just how hope is so, so important in the times we're living in right now. I think one of the things this past couple of years with the pandemic is there's a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety. I'm a youth minister, and I work with teens, and I can see it. They never stop. They never stop. They're always on. They're always on. And then I kind of reflect on my own life. I'm kind of always on too. I had a friend call or text me and invite me to a book study. And the book was about the ruthless elimination of hurry. Now, as I'm getting this Facebook message, I'm scrambling to get kids out of the house. The dog pooped on the floor. It was just like complete chaos, and I'm hurrying. I'm going to be late for work. And I was laughing. I'm like, sure, I'll read the book. And it was an incredible book. And I haven't had a book I've read recently that has truly given me a different perspective on hurry. And that what hurry does, it kills the soul. And that the more I'm hurried and I'm going, and these teens were going, I'm questioning all the time the last 7 years of ministry. Why are people not believing in God? Why do they stop believing? And in the book, it says that when we are in a constant hurry, the soul doesn't have time to breathe. And when the soul doesn't have time to breathe, it dies. And then we just think that everything we're doing is for this life. And I even talked to some teens who have been to conferences with me. They've been to camps with me, and they don't believe in God right now. And I'm like, why? You've had all these experiences. How could you? But then I think about it. They're never off their phone. They're always on. They're always on. They're always having to get to the next thing. And this concept that we're made for another world, we need to stop. Like, what does silence do? What does rest do? What does a Sabbath do? Why is a Sabbath one of the 10 Commandments? Isn't that interesting? It's one of the 10 Commandments, yet how many of us really take a Sabbath? I mean, really. How many of us like stop for 24 hours in our week and we do nothing? And we just enjoy God's presence. And we just be in nature. I can say for me, I don't do it. My excuse, I work on Sunday. No, I'm a youth minister and music director, but how can I take a Sabbath? So I've been really pondering this because I know even in my own life, that frenetic hurry and that constantly striving for things of this earth is kind of killing the presence of God in me. And how important, I've read the beautiful books on the presence of God and practicing the present moment. But the way to do that is follow the commandment of God to rest on the Sabbath. And so I guess before my husband talks, just to kind of end with, to find that rest in your life. And maybe 24 it seems impossible. But what about maybe a half day where you just unplug, spend it with your family, go out and look out at nature, take a hike, go to the beach. We're in Florida here, or just find a time just to be in the silence and not be afraid of it. Not be afraid of your kids saying, "I'm bored." I'm like, that's a win. Like, that's a win. And just allow our souls to breathe and remember the virtue of hope that we're made for another world. So thank you.
Well, my name is Vincenzo. It's a task to come and talk after my wife. This is not it's not an easy thing to find things to add or what she already talk about it. Some little things that I might want to touch with it, especially about hope. There's so much fears of considering the eternal. Because there's so much spread lifestyle to think that we're never gonna die. We're gonna be living forever, and we're gonna all that we work for and build for and put away for is gonna always be here forever and ever. And it's a very, very large view of the way of life that is so much in contrast with the eternal God and the consciousness of hope. And it seems even too philosophical to think and speak about what hope is, but there's so much in a daily life that hope becomes active. A very, very steady, optimistic way of life. It's an active way to live hope, in my opinion. I don't know, is the second Sunday of Lent, and I was so impressed by the word of the Gospel of St. Peter today, because in the midst of that unusual situation that he was, and Jesus shining bright like a LED light, and people coming, and he doesn't really know who they are, and Jesus talks to them, and it seems so confusing, and all he had to say was, "Rabbi, so good to be here." And I wish that those would be my first words every day when I wake up, because we live in that so much not knowing time and what is going to happen, and the things always seems to be a tragedy, no matter how tragic they are. There's so much first reaction always to be negative, to be pessimistic, to be. The active hope is so simple. It's so good to be here. There's no other way to live. It's just good to be here. And life is hard and God is good. And the mentality is life is random. Life is not random. God has a plan, a good plan. And it might be painful sometimes, and it might be not what you really plan. And it might be confusing. It's exactly the same feeling that I think St. Peter was living up on the mountain that day. But he couldn't have said, "Oh, this is too much. It's too crazy. I'm sorry, Lord. I'm going down. I'm going fishing again. This is too much for me. This I never sign up for this." And those are the words that many times comes out of my mind. I didn't sign up for this. And instead, he just said, "So good to be here." And things change. I think that there's so many little things in the daily life that God is revealing His presence and His eternal power in very small things. And I have personally, I know I have to put a stop of my thinking that I'm gonna live forever, because it's just not gonna happen. We're not made for, and thank God we're not made for, because what is waiting for us is gonna be. It's going to be just those words. It's going to be so good to be here. If it's good here today on this side, on the other side, it's going to be really good to be there. So it's I want to cultivate day by day the preciousness and the value and the treasure of living in a hopeful way. I've been hopeless in my life quite a few years, and I wasted a lot of God-given lifetime ignoring that there would possibly be a way to change. So I don't want to waste time anymore. I just want to commit to the lifestyle that will bring God out of my mouth every day. It's so good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.